Welcome to the League of Nerds comic book segment number 173. I'm John Cooney here to talk to you about comics released the 6th of May, 2015, beginning as usual with my first 5, meaning these are the first 5 books I intend to read this week, and I'll give you a little more depth on them, starting with at number 1, Secret Wars number 1 of 8. The final incursion is happening, the Marvel Universe is colliding with the Ultimate Universe, and neither will survive. When asked what he wanted readers to know about the book, writer Jonathan Hickman responded, quote, "I don't want them to know anything. If I had my druthers, we would have never even announced this stuff. The books would just show up next month and would have replaced all the normal books. You've got to concede that would have been the coolest thing ever. It would have been confusing and it would have been total chaos, but we would have had fun. We can't do it that way, of course, though, so I'll say this for what people can expect. Issue number 1 is basically a cold open on the end of the world, and issue number 2 is what really kicks off everything. We've done a really smart thing where issue number 1 ships 1 week and issue number 2 ships the week after, so there's no delay, no waiting around, or anything like that. Then I think when people see what Assad has done in issues number 1 and 2, they will figure out really quickly just how big and exciting this is and how cool the story we're going to tell is." Close quote. At number 2, we have Amazing Spider-Man number 18. A huge chapter in Amazing Spider-Man history comes to a close. Peter's choices as CEO of Parker Industries come home to roost. Series writer Dan Slott spoke about the challenges facing Peter and Parker Industries in the Spider-Verse aftermath. Quote, "Because Spidey has always been the loner or the follower, and when he came back he discovered that Doc Ock had left him his own company. And he's been doing a pretty crappy job of running it. He's been running off to be Spider-Man, and even when he's around his employees, he's very mercurial. He's almost bipolar. Peter wants everyone to like him, so he's, hey, I'll be the fun boss. This is the first time someone has said to him, run your own company, and Peter's not Doc Ock. Doc Ock would have no problem running around Parker Industries yelling at everybody and getting them to do exactly what he wants. That's not Peter's speed, but now he's had this giant quest. He's had all this responsibility shouldered on him of lead us. He's now just led this whole army and is like, if I can lead a giant army of Spider-Man against these unkillable hordes of vampires, I can probably run my own company. Let's try this. So we'll see where that goes." Close quote. At number 3, we have Afterlife with Archie number 8, a ghost story. Contrary to popular belief, the current zombie outbreak is not the first time a shadow fell across Riverdale and its citizens. As the survivors hunker down in a hotel to wait out a snowstorm, Hiram Lodge and Mary Andrews relive the darkest chapter of their town's history. 10 years ago, the adults of Riverdale struck a terrible bargain with the witches of Greendale, setting the stage for the present-day apocalypse. Writer Roberto Aguirre Sacasa described the issue, quote, "Issue number 8 is our densest, perhaps darkest chapter yet. Besides dealing with the fallout of Jason Blossom's death from last issue, we find the gang trapped in a hotel in the middle of a snowstorm. As they settle in for a long winter's night, we start to learn about Riverdale's disturbing history, about a terrible pact the founding families of Riverdale made with a group of strange women living in the next town over, Greendale. Issue number 8 is a terrific re-entry point for the series and continues to expand the Lovecraftian mythology introduced in issue 6. Close quote. At number 4, we have Spider-Gwen number 4. Learn what really happened the day that Peter Parker died. Gwen comes face to face with Ben and May Parker. Series writer Jason Latour discussed his plans for the book. Quote, "The plan is to take our time and to have it unfold organically and have fun with it. The title, other than being the most recognizable name everybody calls her by, is a nice reminder that the book is half Spider and half Gwen. So there will be a lot of the Mary Janes, a lot of stuff with Dad. I'm really excited about it, and the reaction behind closed doors has been good so far. I don't know if I can live up to these massive expectations, but if it doesn't fall flat, I think we're in good shape." Close quote. He went on to say, quote, "As far as I know, we're all systems go on our long-term plan. I think for the foreseeable future, the events of Secret Wars are complicated. I don't know what's going to do to the publishing schedule, but as far as Gwen having a book and the story of her own, we're on pretty safe footing, so long as the sales stay good, and right now they're phenomenal. I think everything looks pretty good in terms of her future and the story we want to tell." Close quote. At number 5, we've got Convergence number 5 of 8. The threat to the multiverse grows as Brainiac confronts his creation Telos, and the surviving heroes of Earth 2 are stuck in the middle. Plus, a specific moment in time signals a call to all the cities that have been battling each other. Witness the final fates of the winners and losers of Convergence. Now, this week also starts the second issues of all the tie-in series, and in similar fashion to the DC Free Comic Book Day Divergence, the tie-ins will feature 8-page previews showing some of the post-Convergence titles. DC's press release explained, quote, "This May, comics fans will be treated to the exciting conclusion to the Convergence weekly series and the resolution of fan-favorite stories from throughout DC's 80-year history in the final issues of the May Convergence monthly miniseries. But you know we just had to whet your appetite for more, right? Of course. beginning with DC Comics Divergence on Free Comic Book Day, May 2nd, and continuing week by week in the May issues of the Convergence miniseries, we're including 8-page sneak peeks at the new and continuing titles arriving this June. This isn't excerpted content, but all new standalone stories that give a glimpse of what fans can expect after Convergence. Not only will these previews be included in the monthly miniseries, they'll also be available as free digital downloads day and date with the monthly books." Close quote. Although the solicits for this week's titles did not include the specifics of the corresponding previews, instead just all saying, quote, "This extra-sized issue includes a sneak peek at what's coming up in the DC universe," close quote, I've incorporated the summaries for each issue's content. Additionally, this week, like issue 1, each tie-in says, quote, "Starring heroes from the pre-Flashpoint DCU," close quote. So with that in mind, rounding out the top 10, at number 6, we have Convergence Batgirl number 2 of 2. What will be the final fate of Stephanie Brown as she battles both Flashpoint Grodd and Catman, or is the real fight closer to home against Red Robin? Includes Prez, written by Mark Russell with art by Ben Caldwell. Social media sensation Beth Ross is about to become the first teen president, but only if she can survive her first diplomatic run-in with the UN. Will her pad thai craving get in the way? At number 7, we have Convergence Nightwing Oracle number 2 of 2. The fairy tale starring Dick Grayson and Barbara Gordon tries to survive one more night and a brutal attack by Flashpoint Hawkman and Hawkwoman. Includes Midnighter, written by Steve Orlando with art by ACO. Midnighter's on the hunt for the Perdition Pistol, a legendary weapon believed to fire bullets with body-snatching demons inside, but you shouldn't listen to everything the old stories say. At number 8, we have Convergence Batman and Robin number 2 of 2. It's a Bat family reunion with Bruce, Damian, and Jason Todd, so you know things aren't going to end well, but it gets a lot worse when Batman and Robin have to fight the extremists. Includes the Omega Men, written by Tom King with art by Barnaby Bagenda and Jose Marzan Jr. The Omega Men killed Kyle Rayner? At number 9, we have Convergence Superman number 2 of 2. Flashpoint Kal-El has kidnapped Lois while she's in labor. Will Superman reach them in time, or will Flashpoint Batman have to deliver the Man of Steel's only child? Includes Doomed, written by Scott Lobdell with art by Javier Fernandez. Reiser is just like every other college student. He worries about his grades, family, friends, girls, battling the Alpha Centurion in the streets of Metropolis as a doomsday-infected monster. At number 10, we've got Convergence Titans number 2 of 2. A severely depleted Titans team, including Arsenal and Donna Troy, is put to the test against the world-conquering extremists. But how can they do this while protecting Arsenal's daughter Leanne? Includes Red Hood Arsenal, written by Scott Lobdell with art by Dennis Mairdry. Jason and Roy face off against the forces of Cobra. For the best of the rest from DC Comics, we've got Batman Earth 1 Volume 2 hardcover. It's here, the sequel to the number 1 New York Times bestseller and critically acclaimed Batman Earth 1 by superstar creative team of writer Jeff Johns and artist Gary Frank. While Gotham City is plunged into terror by an enigmatic anarchist and killer calling himself the Riddler, the Dark Knight must reconcile the increasingly conflicting ideologies of Detective Jim Gordon and Bruce Wayne's head of security, Alfred Pennyworth. But there are many more mysteries lurking within Gotham City, including the secret agenda of Harvey Dent and the bizarre creature prowling the sewers, Killer Croc. Next we have Convergence Harley Quinn number 2 of 2. Harley Quinn, Catwoman, and Poison Ivy fight Captain Carrot and his amazing zoo crew to the death. Includes Section 8, written by Garth Ennis with art by John McCrae. From the pages of Hitman and the dumpsters of the Gotham City Municipal Dog Pound, a mysterious figure emerges. Could Dog Welder really be back from the dead? We've also got Convergence Justice League number 2 of 2. Witness the brutality of the battle between worlds as Flashpoint Aquaman proves to the Justice League how far he's willing to go to protect his kingdom. Includes Earth 2 Society, written by Daniel H. Wilson with art by Jorge Jimenez. The heroes of this new Earth battle over a mysterious device that could remake their old world or destroy the new one. Next we have Convergence Speed Force number 2 of 2. Wally West desperately tries to protect his children and his city from the brutal assault of the Flashpoint Wonder Woman as the next phase of Convergence begins. Includes Green Arrow, written by Ben Percy with art by Patrick Zurcher. The series takes a more macabre tone as Oliver Queen faces off against a murderous trucker in Alaska before he's called home by his half-sister Amiko from the Jeff Lemire run to help save Seattle from nefarious forces. We've also got Convergence The Atom number 2 of 2. Ray Palmer battles the extremist Barracuda even as he struggles with what seems to be the presence of the dead Atom, Ryan Choi, while Deathstroke waits in the wings ready to kill any Atom he sees. Includes Green Lantern, written by Robert Venditti with art by Billy Tan. On the run, Renegade Hal Jordan is confronted by both sides of the law at a galactic outpost. Beware his new power gauntlet and watch out for his new partner. Next we have Convergence The Question number 2 of 2. Renee Montoya's final stand as the question comes to a head as she helps Two-Face battle Flashpoint's Harvey Dent, but will her world live on? Includes Green Lantern The Lost Army, written by Colin Bunn with art by Jesus Saez. On a planet more alien than they can begin to imagine, Jon Stewart and a small group of Green Lanterns encounter new life, new dangers, and a mission of survival unlike anyone's faced before. And we have The Names number 9 of 9. Philip's new girlfriend, Cassandra, is a lot more or less than she seems. But what does the shape-shifting beauty and her dark loop comrades want with him? Mysteries, monsters, and mayhem in the furious final episode of The Names as Philip learns who and what the dark loops are, and The Names director Stoker tells Katya who threw her husband to his death from a skyscraper window. From Marvel Comics, we've got all-new Captain America Special number 1, Part 3, the grand finale of Inhuman Error. Red Raven has Spider-Man and the Inhumans right where he wants them. One bird turn deserves another as the all-new Captain America answers the call to defend New York from the revenge-ready Red Raven. Next we have Ant-Man number 5, the explosive first arc finale. There aren't actually any explosions, but there is a big showdown with our poorly lit villain, and plenty of heartbreak to go around. Nothing will be the same again, except you're still aging. That's not going anywhere. We've also got Avengers Versus number 1. It's the Avengers versus some of their all-time greatest foes. Powerful Asgardian artifacts are on Earth, but can the Avengers recover them before Loki? Contains 4 short stories featuring the villainous Red Skull, Atuma, Loki, MODOK, and more. Next we have Guardians Team Up number 5. The universe's most powerful cabal of villainy is formed right under the Earth's mightiest heroes' noses, and they've never noticed. The group of foul, get it, villains is the pets of evil masters, and they're after world domination. Rocket must team up with the pet Avengers, much to his dismay, to face down the foes that no one else can or will bother with in this earth-shattering adventure that can only be told in the mighty Marvel manner. We've also got Rocket Raccoon number 11. Does the Book of Half-World actually exist, or was it all just one big hoax? And finally, is Rocket really alone in the world? You'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll wish you were a raccoon. I mean, a gun-wielding, smack-talking tough guy who happens to be covered in fur. And we've got Spider-Woman number 7. Jessica Drew, aka Spider-Woman, gets closer to figuring out who's been kidnapping villains' significant others to blackmail the villains. From Dynamite Entertainment, we've got Swords of Sorrow number 1 of 6. Dynamite's fiercest females in their biggest event ever. Fan favorite Gail Simone and rising art star Sergio Davila combined to tell the ultimate pulp adventures featuring Vampirella, Deja Thoris, Red Sonja, Kato, Jungle Girl, and many, many more. Villains and heroes from a dozen worlds and eras face off against a legendary evil that threatens all their homelands. Don't miss this thrilling epic tale, an event supported by one-shot side adventures written by the hottest writers today, like G. Willow Wilson, Marguerite Bennett, Nancy Collins, and more. From IDW Publishing, we've got Orphan Black number 3. A scientist with mysterious illness, Cosima must use every ounce of her bravery and intellect to save her clone sisters and herself. From Image Comics, we've got Rocket Girl number 6. Split second, Rocket Girl returns for a second time-traveling story arc. In 1986 New York City, DeYoung Johansson is vowed to hang up her helmet and jetpack. Now there's no one left to right the city's wrongs. And what could possibly be happening in the time-traveling 2014 that shouldn't exist at all? Next we have Savage Dragon number 203. Malcolm Dragon faces the explosive power of Neutron Bob, and the deadly duo are sure to make matters worse. It's all out action and hilarious hijinks as Malcolm faces one of his father's most fearsome foes. We've also got Thief of Thieves number 28. What has Cohen been up to since being dismissed from the FBI? Harboring a few grudges with a certain thief? And we've got The Wicked and the Divine number 10. Ragnarok is finally here. The show to end all shows promises to be a lovely experience for all the gods. Wait. Oh noes, Jamie and Matt have drawn blasphemy drenched in blood on the cover. What a hilarious internal communication error. I'm sure it's a mistake and nothing to do with the story whatsoever. From Valiant Entertainment, we have Dead Drop number 1 of 4. 4 issues, 4 stories, 1 ticking clock. Red Hot Rider Alice Cott of Bucky Barnes the Winter Soldier and rising star Adam Gorham of Zero Start the countdown to dead drop as an unlikely cast of superhuman operators fall in deep for an undercover conspiracy action thriller in the darkest corner of the Valiant universe. There's a secret black market in New York. It is hidden in plain sight in our streets, trains, restaurants. Those who know how to navigate it exchange secrets of extraordinary nature. But when the secret in circulation is a biological weapon derived from Vine technology, the gloves are off, and the most extraordinary agents are released to stop the disaster before it occurs. Otherwise, in less than 30 minutes, there will be no world to come back to. Exo Manowar, Archer, Neville Alcott, Detective Sayudo, and Betamax are ready to save the world. And we have Valiant Universe Handbook 2015 edition number 1, The Epic Origins, The Fearless First Adventures, The Ever-Shifting Allies and Allegiances. In honor of Valiant's 25th anniversary, get everything you need to know about the most formidable heroes and the villains in the Valiant Universe has to offer right here with an all-new 40-page handbook for just $2.99. From Animalia to Zephyr, get an essential briefing on Valiant's most important players with a highly detailed and thoroughly updated breakdown of the monumental characters that will be making the Valiant Universe tick in 2015 and beyond. Featuring artwork from an all-star cast of Valiant superstars, Doug Braithwaite, Clayton Crane, Trevor Hairzine, Clayton Henry, Brian Hitch, Kerry Nord, and many, many more. Discover everything you need to know to jump into the world of Valiant's award-winning series right here. Plus, start at the beginning and find out what you might have missed with a brand new guide to Valiant's trade paperback collections. It all starts here in the Valiant Universe Handbook. Out in trades this week, we have All New X-Men Volume 5 One Down trade paperback, Infinite Past, Infinite Futures, Infinite Loss. The Beast is tortured by his decision to bring the original X-Men into the present, but can he repair the damage he's done while the future Brotherhood of Evil Mutants is still gunning for the time-tossed teens? The young X-Men will need to rally to save themselves, but Jean Grey is different. The Shi'ar trial has changed her. What does this mean for her future, for the past of the woman she's meant to become, and for the rest of the X-Men? Timelines collide when the future Brotherhood exacts its final judgment on the all-new X-Men. Collects All New X-Men number 25 through 30. And we have Star Wars Episode 4 A New Hope hardcover. The original comic adaptation of the greatest space fantasy film of all is remastered for the modern age with all-new coloring by Chris Sotomayor. Weeks before George Lucas' first Star Wars film hit theaters, Marvel gave fans their first look at Luke Skywalker, boldly asking, will he save the galaxy or destroy it? You may know the answer, but that doesn't spoil the fun of seeing Star Wars Episode 4 A New Hope like never before, including scenes that never made the silver screen. When Princess Leia is taken prisoner, Luke, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Han Solo, Chewbacca, C-3PO, and R2-D2 ride to the rescue and take on Darth Vader and his awesome Death Star. It's 6 against a galaxy, one that's far, far away and a long time ago. May the Force be with you in the mighty Marvel manner. Collect Star Wars number 1 through 6. Okay, so that's just a few of my favorite books out this week. There's still plenty of others available, and I broke out all the Marvel titles this week in their own video, as well as a separate video for all of DC, and even a video with the top independent publishers, and you can find them all on my YouTube channel at he'sgotissues.com. And we'll also have links up on the leagueofnerds.com, our Facebook page, so be sure to like us there too. And of course, you can follow everything I'm reading on Facebook, Pinterest, Tumblr, Twitter, and Instagram. You can find links to everything in the About section at he'sgotissues.com. And a reminder that both He's Got Issues and the League of Nerds are proud members of the Comics Podcast Network. So until next week, I'm John Cooney, and I've got issues.